Hi, I'm nervous, and today we are going to be reacting to the brand new, well, 4 days old Poppy Playtime trailer for Chapter 4. And if you've been keeping up with Poppy Playtime and mob entertainment in general, you'll know that we did get some teasers about a month ago revealing the new line of critters, the antithesis to the smiling critters, the nightmare critters. But 4 days ago, as of me recording this, and I think 6 days ago, as of you seeing this, I'm very, very timely about this, or sometime later if you're not watching this the day that it's uploaded, they released a full trailer for Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 that reveals the actual new big bad we're going to be facing in that chapter. That is the only thing I've had spoiled for me, and it's because it's the name of the trailer and it's the thumbnail of the trailer on YouTube, and that is how I first discovered this. So I have been just the slightest bit spoiled, but I would assume that if you know anything about Poppy Playtime, you've probably been spoiled on this too, or you've already watched the trailer. We're just reacting to it today because, quite frankly, it's the end of October. It's been a very busy month for me, and I'm gonna be nice to myself. I don't need to burn myself out. I don't need to try too hard. I don't need to break through some new understanding of a FNAF Tales from the Pizzaplex story every single week. I did that last week. And if you want to watch that video, this side is where it is. You'll see the thumbnail and you can go over there. I will try to remember to put the little eye thing, but YouTube frankly punishes me when people click off my videos to go watch another one of my videos. So I don't even know if I want to incentivize you to go watch it right now. But when you're done with this, if you want to watch me break down a story and over-explain it and potentially, look way too deeply into it to try to find some deeper meaning that's not even really there, I do that like almost every week. So this week, let's just watch a YouTube video together. Let's just have some fun. So get a snack, I've got a drink, hydrate yourself, and let's just have a casual little day. The background is a little different today because I have to live stream like right after this, which I do on Wednesdays and Fridays, if you want to join me. So I was just like, I'm just going to set it up for the stream and we're just going to do this. So, pats on the back for me for recognizing where my body is and where my mind is and not pushing myself to do more than what we want to do this week. Is that enough of an intro? Will you subscribe to the channel? Will you like the video? Like, just do whatever you feel like doing. We have to stop the intro or people are going to get mad. Okay, so I am going to switch to react mode. Toast, you are back. Hello, welcome back, baby. Hi. I love you. Oh, I don't have my headphones on. Oh my gosh. I'm really prepared today. I really know how to be a YouTuber. All right, are we ready? Are we all ready? Toast is settled. Are you settled? Do you have a snack? Okay, we're falling down an elevator shaft of sorts. So it would seem we're falling down an elevator shaft. I'm going to turn the volume on the video up just a smidge. Falling down an elevator shaft. What an interesting. Oh, duh. It's picking up right where we left off in Chapter 3. So if you weren't aware, in Chapter 3, we're going down the elevator and we hear Kissy Missy being attacked, presumably by the prototype or something. So that seems to be what that was indicating. So now this is us coming. Okay, we've gotten all the way down to the bottom. Oh, the graphics are lovely. I doubt this is in-game. This is like cutscenes, but. Caves 1C. This facility does not make a lick of sense to me. I'm gonna need blueprints. I genuinely, desperately would like somebody to create a blueprint map of sorts to help me understand how many floors, just how much surface area this factory takes up, because the only image we have of the outside does not indicate how deep this rabbit hole goes, so to speak. So we're in the caves. There's a remnant back there. Magma. Oof. Yikes. Blood and viscera. Cute. A rat? Is that a rat? Potentially a rat. Flashlight. Us, potentially. Probably. Theoretically. Whoa, that was like a prison cell. Hold on. Look at that. That's like where you'd keep someone. So this is like definitely where they were holding people who were either going to be experimented on or maybe defectors, people who were going to speak out against the company. These are like cells or something they may have held them in. But that's like a tightly locked door. If you like, when that door is closed, it is sealed. You know what I mean? And there's like a little spot to like feed people through or pass things through, potentially. Ooh. Was that a critter that just got squashed? So like assume that's like a nightmare critter or a smiling critter. Yeah, bro got squashed. The man is squished. Okay, security camera. That looks like stop motion. I love the way that's animated. Sorry for going back and forth. This is what it is. What do you want from me? Okay. Ooh, there he is. There's our big guy. Desks. Like a reception area. Okay. Oh no. Things have changed. Is that an eyeball? It is. Okay. Funky. Oh. It sees us. Oh. I think he's there. Yeah. Whoa. It's got some Demogorgon energy. January 4th. Okay. Fun. So that was Yarnaby. New big bad. Let me get back on him real quick. And we'll just really take a look at this little freak. He's a yarny little guy, yarny little creature. And his mouth opens to reveal a lot of teeth. Some of them are broken. 2 sets of teeth. Freak energy. And he been eaten. He been eaten. So we don't really get a whole lot of information about what his dealio is beyond the teeth thing, which I think is kind of funny because he has sharp teeth before. He's already got sharp teeth. It opens to reveal actual sharp teeth. So I'm going to go ahead and okay, it's, experiment 1166. Okay. The bowels of the factory. Jesus. Okay. So this is not really telling us a whole lot about this chapter beyond some of the settings, which we got a little bit of that with the teaser as well. We are definitely down in the depths. I'm going to listen to this first part again because I do think that that's Poppy's voice being like, oh my gosh. Oops. Yeah, we're coming. Hold on. That's like exactly how the last chapter ended. Yeah. So what this means is wherever we're headed is where Poppy intended to go. So Poppy wanted to lead us down here. And this has been my thing lately of like, who can you even trust in this game? Now, if you look back on my channel, I have not really made any Poppy Playtime videos. I have one, and it's just me comparing Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 to modern FNAF and kind of seeing if these similarities are a little too on the nose because of the undeniable and even admitted influence of Five Nights at Freddy's on the Poppy Playtime series. Mob Entertainment would not have made Poppy Playtime had Five Nights at Freddy's not been on their radar and something that they were genuinely like interested in. That is really the breadth of the energy I've put into Poppy Playtime. I like watching the gameplay. I like hearing about the story, but I really have not put a whole lot of energy into researching the lore and trying to come up with my own theories about things. And I've definitely never played the games and don't really know if I even intend to. Like, as much as I know that people probably, want to see folks play Poppy Playtime Chapter 4, I don't know if I'm going to, because I didn't play Poppy Playtime Chapters 1 through 3. I'm not good at the kinds of puzzles that exist in the game. Anyway, it's just not really something that I like really get into, frankly. Now, the reason that I've never really gone back and talked about the old chapters of Poppy Playtime or really delved into even chapter 3 on my channel is because every single chapter is very similar to this in the way that they just go deeper into the factory, and we are introduced to an entirely new character who's never even been around as far as we've ever been able to see in the previous chapters of the game. And for me, it's just always like, I want to build on this lore in a way that is satisfying to me. And the way Poppy Playtime builds on its lore is really not satisfying to me personally. If it's your thing and if you like it, obviously you do you, and I would never take away from that for you. But that is kind of my critique, is that we have run into all these characters that were not the main villains in the last 3 chapters, and they're, we see their images, but we don't actually see the actual thing, or, if it had a bigger body, the way that Poppy and, not Poppy, that Huggy Wuggy and Kissy Missy and, Catnap and everybody else, the way they have these bigger bodies, like, kind of situations. I would have preferred those creatures kind of coming out of the shadows. That's not the story that Mob Entertainment wanted to tell. It's not my job to tell them what to do, so I accept that this is the way that they tell their story, but it is not as fun for me, because you can't build off of the people that you see and go like, ooh, what's going to come next? It's just like whoever they've, and I can't know, frankly, that they didn't already have Barnaby planned out when they were doing chapter 3, but they didn't have to, is my thing. It's not like they seeded something out we could have predicted. It's just like they're throwing it at us. And I feel the same way with the nightmare critters, and I just like, I guess really this is a trailer reaction, but mostly I think that what this is just me saying, like, I just don't really understand why this franchise can't work with the material it's already presented to us. Let's be very clear. Let me just put it back on the screen. This is beautiful. This looks great. It's giving a little sister location bunker falling down the elevator shaft help wanted to trailer energy, even with the like circular exit kind of situation. But like, this is visually very interesting, and I'm excited about this. Like, we're being watched. This seems a lot like we're being watched, potentially by the prototype or by Yarnaby, the character for this game. Potentially Yarnaby is like stalking us, and that is what this trailer is. And if it is, like, I really do commend them on the cinematic nature of this trailer. It is good. I do feel the energy of like, this is our player character, and we are in the point of view of Yarnaby kind of being stalked through, or stalking our player character through the bowels of the factory, where this is where it appears they took all of the victims of the Hour of Joy. So that's where it seems like we are now. That we are in the caverns of the factory, the bowels, as they say, and this is where all of the dead bodies go. And it seems like that extends to the other toys and things like that. When they start to get, eaten, their bodies are discarded down here. And that's all very, very interesting. And I'm definitely not anti this. And it looks like it's going to be really scary and interesting. It looks like there's going to be a lot of really cool stuff to explore. And I'm comfortable saying like, okay, they're going to up the ante and do all that stuff. However, my issue with all of these new chapters is that they aren't building on things that we have seen in the past. It's just, here's a bunch of new stuff. And it reminds me of another franchise that I absolutely abhor. And it's to the point where it's almost like Garten of Banban is fully a parody of Poppy Playtime. Because very similarly, every single chapter, even though there are like twice as many chapters of Banban, introduces us to a brand new somebody who we would never have thought. But at the very least, not trying to be crazy or anything, but at least Garten of Banban has the people most of the time that we're going to meet in the new chapter like up on the wall somewhere. And it's just like a guessing game of like which one. And when I'm giving Garten of Banban points, yikes. But I just wish it's like if the nightmare critters were something, I would have loved just a little hint of that in chapter 3. You don't have to introduce them, you don't have to explain them, but even if there was just like a single poster somewhere in the factory, even like a like torn, like there's, another poster on top of it, like maybe Nightmare Critters was like a failed thought. And am I wrong that the Poppy Playtime book, doesn't mention the Nightmare Critters either? Because I just feel like that would be something. I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to be overtly negative here, but it just feels a little strange. And when the trailer was released a month ago, the teaser, sorry, we were introduced to Baba Chops, the black sheep of the Nightmare Critters. And when they first teased all this and started introducing the Nightmare Critters, people were kind of up in arms like, oh my gosh, you did the Smiling Critters last chapter and now it's the Nightmare Critters. It's kind of ridiculous. And then there was a bunch of other people being like, obviously this is not the main villain, it's the side villain, like the side characters or whatever, the little guys that are going to be. And I was really frustrated at this discourse, not because of like one side or the other or whatever. It's not like I was mad about the Nightmare Critters being introduced, and it's not like I was mad at people for being mad about the Nightmare Critters being introduced. I was frustrated that people were like, obviously, this is not the main villain of the new chapter. And I was like, the only reason people think this is because that is the, poster of that they're presenting for this new chapter. They're like, here's the poster. It's of the black sheep. And we've seen it in plenty of different like lines of toys, that there are the sort of goody two-shoe or cutesy, sunshine, la la la, and then the darker version of that character of those things, whatever. The genuine issue that I have has nothing to do with the fact that they exist. It's just the fact that it almost seems like they saw the success of the Smiling Critters as mob entertainment and said, okay, let's do Nightmare Critters next. If the Nightmare Critters had been teased in any way in chapter 3, or if there'd been an update or something, if we'd seen some sort of level of advertising for this before it was fully revealed, then I would have been like, okay, they had this plan all along. That's all good and well. But instead, it really seems like they had no idea that they were going to put this in chapter 4 until they saw the commercial success of these critters from chapter 3. If these toys exist, then it means that they existed when the company was still active. So the fact that we're in the bowels of the company and we have never seen any advertising for this character, and I would love to be proven wrong. So if there is something that pointed us in the direction that there were the Nightmare Critters or Yarnaby, etc., in the previous chapters, any of them, then that would be fine. I'm talking way too much about the Nightmare Critters, and this is supposed to be about Yarnaby. So we learn about Yarnaby through the ARG for Poppy Playtime. I have my feelings about the critters. If the ARG or if the book or something teased them, like, let me know. If it's in the book that came out, I would be less upset because definitely there have been times in Five Nights at Freddy's where something has been introduced in a book and then released in the game. So here's what I mean regarding the Nightmare Critters, and then I'll drop it. But the Smiling Critters had this image in Project Playtime, the game that they abandoned, that they really shouldn't have. Shame on you, Mob Entertainment, quite frankly. And this stuck with me. I remember seeing this and really, I'm like, this means something. Couldn't have told you what, but not just me, multiple people speculated that these little, like, well, one, we speculated, okay, maybe these are supposed to represent the children that are being taken and turned into toys, which at the end of the day was kind of actually correct. But also, these are the smiling critters. They were teasing these smiling critters in Project Playtime, which came out before Chapter 3. So they were teasing it. They knew what they were going to do. So when Chapter 4 teaser stuff comes out and it's these nightmare critters, I'm like, where was the poster in Poppy Playtime Chapter 3? Where was the cutout? Where was, just like a limp plush that's been, one that even that's been decimated or something, to represent the nightmare critters and give us a hint of what was to come. And the other part of me is like, was that meant to be something that ended up getting teased in Project Playtime, but they abandoned that project? So we don't get that. And the last thing I'll say on the smiling critter versus nightmare critter discourse is when people came out and were like, oh my gosh, you're going to make the main villain this, little sheep guy, and we just had the smiling critter and you're just kind of rehashing that. And people were like, obviously this is going to be the main villain, blah, blah, blah. I was frustrated because I was like, well, like, when they introduced the smiling critters, one of the smiling critters was the main villain. So I don't think that was like a crazy conclusion for people to draw, except that you're wrong and all that good stuff. Like once someone confirms for you, then I'm like, whew, take a step back. But that was not a crazy conclusion to come to based on the information that was given to us at the time. I was willing to sit back and wait and not determine that something was going to be the main villain until it was like directly stated to me, because again, like, I'm not sitting over here trying to make predictions about Poppy Playtime. It doesn't really bother me to know or not know. I just am more of a casual enjoyer of the franchise, not somebody who's really getting in there. But it really frustrated me seeing people get kind of a little way too aggro with people who came to that conclusion, because it was a very normal conclusion to come to based on the information that was given to them. So it's just kind of like, I don't know, not that I need to sit up here on my soapbox. And I know I keep saying I'm going to move on from this, but I really feel like I have to say this before I move past it. Just when you are on the internet and you see somebody say something that you think is stupid or obvious or whatever blunt, like insulting of their intelligence or whatever kind of thing you're about to say, type it out, get it out of your system, and then delete it. And then calmly correct somebody. Just exercise a level of human empathy when we're talking to people in the world. Because I know it doesn't always feel like it, but when you are talking to people on the internet, you are talking to real human people who live real human lives. Even if it's anonymous, like, you are still a human and you're making a human choice. Just picture that in your head. I'm a human and so are they. And it would mean so much to me if someone offered me empathy and compassion. What if I just did that for them? I'm gonna have to go through all this later and cut out like half of it. But I hope that I have gotten across my main point of just like, stop being so incendiary and so black and white and so just nasty with your words. Don't be nasty with your words. Be good with your words. Please. I don't know. I'm nobody, but I'm asking. Let's talk about Yarnabate. Transition. So, there was an ARG for Poppy Playtime that I did not interact with at all that introduced us to Experiment 1166. I know I butchered that sentence, but I'm over it and I'm not going to repeat myself. So, this is a part of that. We see, this is why I pulled this up. There's these squares within squares, and we see that symbol here. And obviously I don't know everything about this ARG, so I may know more than you, but I'm going to go ahead and read this for anybody who did not interact with the ARG. So what we're looking at here is from the ARG, but this is a weekly checkup from October of 1994. It says original procedure date, August 1990, presumably. So August of 1990 is when originally this started, and then this checkup is happening 4 years later. If I am understanding everything correctly, I'm sure you will correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But it says reason for observation, noting behavioral changes, progression. Observations. This report will ultimately serve as an echo of those prior. I report no change in the subject. He eats little, lazes about in his cell, and performs substandard on all physical tests. With the removal of his master, 1166 appears lost. Despite Sawyer's apathy, the subject formed an attachment of sorts. Without whatever sense of comfort or stability that brought him, his motivation has been sapped. He sits, stares, listens, and only acts with aggression whenever I approach him. He truly just doesn't care anymore. Conclusion. The mind of an animal does not process grief in the same ways as people. If a dog's master dies, it waits around at the same places and wanders where the scent is strong, thinking someday its master has to return. A hole forms in their life, and without higher processing, they must walk around it forever, or simply allow themselves to fall in. But 116 is not fully an animal, even if his mannerisms and behavioral characteristics suggest as such. Whatever boy is there deep inside, I think he is scared, broken down by isolation over too long a time for us to salvage much from what's still there. He was designed for one purpose, and one purpose only. A design made flawed by paranoia and ego. In that, he's a failure by design. Someone above my pay grade can decide what to do with him. For now, he can sulk and spend his days wishing for a master that I can guarantee you didn't care for him at all. Super interesting. And again, there's a lot more about the ARG that I don't know, frankly. Just if we're being so clear. I don't want to, act like I know everything about this. I really don't. I have not been able to keep up. I've chosen to put my energy in other places. So I don't know a whole lot about the ARG that just happened. I probably should have done more research before reacting to all of this, but frankly, this was a trailer reaction. It's not supposed to be, a full reaction to Yarnaby as a character. And if I'm reacting to the trailer is very well made. It does get me excited to see what this underbelly is going to reveal. I'm just going to kind of run through here again and explain, the things that do excite me about this. One being the fact that it seems like we're going to start the chapter with Poppy. Potentially she'll explain kind of where we are a little bit. I like that it seems like whatever this is, if this is supposed to be Yarnaby, I like the idea of them setting this up like we're being stalked as prey. I like that a lot. I'm also excited to see us explore a part of the factory that really was not ever meant for guests to see, because it will be so true, so raw of like what this company really is. I think it's going to reveal a lot about like the true nature of the people who work here, the people who are more aware of what's really going on. Because up until now, like every single person we've been introduced to has been in some form or fashion in the dark about what's really going on. We have, our number of scientists who do seem to know more, but in this particular situation, it seems like we're really getting into the people who know what is going on, are doing the experiments, are aware of themselves. And we know that our player character now, via the book, is one of those people who seems to really know what they were doing down in Poppy Playtime or Playtime Company. I'm also really interested to know more about like the lava, because I think this is also something that we saw in Project Playtime in one of the levels, was this like, I'm saying lava, but like molten material. I'm excited to learn more about that because I don't know a whole lot about it, even if I should by now know. I don't. Super, like I'm looking at trying to figure out which critter this is that gets squished here. It seems like it's got to be one of the nightmares. Oh, it's Poe. I bet it's Poe. Well, I don't know. I think it could, if it's so far it looks most like Poe or Twee. Yeah. It's got to be one of them. Jeez Louise, just crushed. But yeah, very clear that we're being stalked by the thing. And I think that that's very clever. I like it. Offering a sacrifice of sorts, like potentially. Like whatever was crushed earlier has been offered to this eye as a sacrifice. Again, it looks like Poe. Correct me if I'm wrong. It looks like a sacrifice of some sort has been left on top of this eye that is seeing us here. I'm sorry I didn't have more to say necessarily about the trailer. Of course, there's a very high potential that the ARG would flesh out a lot of this for me. In ways, I'm sorry that I didn't look into the ARG and make sure I got all my like research and stuff like on the screen with me so that I could really put together like, oh, this is like from that. Anyway, I'm sorry that I didn't do that in some ways, but in other ways, I'm like, you know what? This was me freshly reacting to the trailer without having any of that information. And I still think that Yarnaby seems like a very interesting villain for Chapter 4. I also appreciate the buildup that Mob Entertainment tends to give to what's coming next or down the pipeline via the ARG stuff. The Hour of Joy was something that we first heard about in ARG territory. So I am grateful that they went out of their way to create an ARG for the true fans, you know, for the people who are willing to do all that extra work to introduce them to Yarnaby before the trailer. But this is the reaction of somebody who didn't interact with any of that stuff. The trailer is really well done. I'm excited to see this new creature. People who really interacted with the ARG, I feel like are probably a lot more excited about this, and at least I hope so. I don't really... Let me see what the fan reception is real quick while we're here to the trailer. People are comparing it to... Hold on, I want you to see this with me real quick. This one person, Smiling Critters, is comparing it to a Korean monster called the Jangsanbyang. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I'm seeing it. I really am seeing the relation. Oh, hello. Very scary face. Okay. Get out of here. Not a lot of... I feel like there's not a lot of, like, overall, like, wow, my gosh, kind of, like, feeling that I've personally got from Chapter 3's trailer. And maybe, like, when a gameplay trailer drops, I'll feel a lot more excited for the game. Again, I don't know why I keep saying this, but, like, I don't hate the trailer or anything like that. I think that having Yarnaby kind of spoiled by the thumbnail and everything, kind of, I'm like, okay, I really knew what we were building up to the whole time. But all that to say, it's a well-made trailer. Well, I'm not gonna sit here and like be crazy about it. It's a well-made trailer, and it does get me hype to see the next chapter. I only hope that it is as fun as Chapter 3 was. I don't know, I guess that's really just like my overall thing. There really was not a lot more about the nightmare critters in here, just one being crushed and sacrificed. And I guess I'll leave this for the viewers, who I know you mostly come here for my Five Nights at Freddy's content, and I hope that you are willing and capable of understanding that that just cannot be the only thing that I talk about on here. As much as I love talking about it, there's always the threat of burnout, there's always the threat of me losing interest in talking about it because I'm so overloaded with it all the time. Would you like me to actually dive into the ARG for Poppy Playtime and make predictions about this game? It would probably be like in December, you know, like I'll wait till it gets closer to release of the new game. Maybe once I know all of the trailers are out for the game, I could do like a full deep dive on like, here's what we know about Poppy Playtime so far, covering the ARG, and my predictions for what's going to happen in the new game right before it comes out. Would you like a comprehensive lore video about Poppy Playtime? Is that something that interests you? Let me know in the comments. If there's anything Poppy Playtime related you would like me to talk about on this channel, I guess I'll just say it like that. If there's anything related to Poppy Playtime that you personally would like me specifically to talk about, like the book, whatever it is, you know, whatever it is, just let me know in the comments. I am just rambling now. I hope that I have cut a ton of my rambling out of this video, but I'm excited. I like Yarnaby's design, and I really love his name. If you take nothing else from this video, just know that I am a fan of Yarnaby and his name. I love that so much. And before the game comes out, I will look into the ARG because I like the ARG stuff is like my favorite stuff. I just genuinely like was not like October has been so freaking busy, and preparing for October was a nightmare. So it's just like I have not really given myself the opportunity to just have fun on the internet lately. And so for the month of November, I'm giving myself a break. So if you don't see any larger theories on the channel for the month of November, know that I'm working on them behind the scenes. I'm working on Amanda the Adventurer script, and I'm working on a large FNAF script that I don't want to rush at all because it means a lot to me. So I'm done talking now. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider hitting the like button, subscribe to become a part of the nervous system, and if you want to be notified, theoretically, about when I upload or go live, go ahead and turn on all bell notifications. I stream on Wednesdays and Fridays and upload once a week, but if you can't wait, there are videos on the screen right now just for you. Okay, bye! Oh my gosh, I started recording before realizing that my microphone wasn't even in the frame. Anything incredible. Okay,